Greetings, God bless, and welcome back. So, I have been wondering about the French Revolution, and so I just started listening to an audiobook, and I recommend people learn more about the French Revolution. There just seems to be a lot of parallels, and the latest chapter I was listening to was talking about how the some people wanted revenge. Okay, so they wanted revenge on the aristocracy. Does that remind you of anything that's going on? Like a group of people wanting revenge, and there was the guillotine was it just recently invented, and the certain groups of people that wanted this revenge wanted more killings. They wanted more executions, and the people who were in charge of executions weren't killing enough people fast enough to please a certain group of people that wanted revenge. And sometime prior to that, this group of people uh, demanded and got reparations for what the aristocracy had done. And, absolute power corrupts absolutely. I am sure aristocracy did bad things. Um, but do we then have a reign of murder? And what kind of got me, I'd been wondering about the French Revolution. I had heard that it was instigated by, I think, the Bolsheviks, uh, but by the like their deep state, by their satanic forces. It's like a Freemasonic thing. And when you look into any of these kind of major atrocities, the Jesuits, the Synagogue of Satan, like these deep state, these occult Satanists are involved. Uh, and I'm just seeing parallels. But what's going on in the United States is worse because, um, I mean, in the book I'm reading about the French Revolution, I haven't heard about the food supply being sabotaged, but that's what is going on. We're hearing about all these fires, and farms weren't, with the lockdowns, farms weren't allowed to, or they didn't um, plant, and then there wasn't enough people around to harvest. And uh, I mean, there's just so much stuff going on in terms of the American food supply. And yeah, I'm just thinking, so we have the food supply, and then we have stuff like people are having heart attacks, babies are having heart attacks due to certain things. Um, so it's like what's going on in the United States is it's like um, it's not as much blood running in the street, but there's actions that are going on, and it's like, you know, it's as if somebody's mad at human existence. And of course, the premise of this channel is, uh, that there is that we are in a paranormal realm, and Satan is the ruler of early, and he hates God and God's creation, man, which is among many things is mankind. Yeah, I think we're in this bloodless horror right now, and what is worse is humanity is being engineered to turn on humanity, because there's the the people that they're in this cult, this mainstream cult, and they're angry um, at those who are not into the cult. And that's a parallel I'm seeing with the French Revolution. Is like, so there was the revolutionaries who wanted to kill um, royalty and royalists, and I'm sure there was a silent majority that was like on the middle of the road. And that's what I'm seeing now is like there's the mainstream narrative folks who think that anybody who doesn't believe what they believe should die. I mean, I've had people personally, like a long-term friend who was a Christian, tell me she said I should die because I wasn't doing what she was doing, what she believed in. And yeah, and it's like I think when you have a visible enemy, a clear enemy, and then you have that solidarity with everybody else who's like, "Oh, yeah, that's messed up." Um, then even if the enemy outnumbers you, and kills you all, you're not psychologically tortured. But how this satanic strategy has occurred, it's divided people. We have one group that's into this cult and narrative, and then we have, maybe a couple others, one that's just like no way, no way, no how, and then there's probably middle of the road folks. But it's so, and then this isolation that's occurred the past couple years, and even the economic stresses that have been occurring for quite a while beforehand. Definitely, uh, there's the lot going. It definitely makes for a more psychologically challenging experience. It's hard to, like, when you're kind of the only one fighting, when you're the only one in the crowd or the only one in the group or the only one in the building that's um, different, like that's things outside the narrative. And what's so strange is that the other is supposedly the poster child of the current narrative, and they'll bring up all this like valid stuff. Bad things have happened because they were the other, because they were the outsider. But now, the what used to be the mainstream, what used to be in power, is now the other, and the other is even less compassionate. Like the other is even more barbaric than the original um, uh, power person in power or group in power. It seems to me. So, not that it's any justification for abuse or tyranny or patriarchy or whatever, racism. There's no excuse for that. God said, love, treat your neighbor as yourself. And whatever that person is, you treat them as yourself. Uh, and the thing that I'm realizing is certain demographics assume when a jerk is being abusive, they are assuming that jerk is being abusive because of, you know, their, like, oh, my messy hair. They're abusing me because of my messy hair. They're abusing me because of my skin color. They're abusing me because of my orientation. They're not, like, these people are not realizing that this person is a jerk. This person is an out of control psycho jerk, and they don't realize, like, whether it's a person of color or a person in the LGBT community or whatever. Like, these folks don't realize that that jerk is treating their wife terribly, is treating the children terribly, is treating their employees terribly, is treating their colleagues terribly, is treating the store clerk terribly. Like, abusive, horrible people treat everybody terribly, and it's not because of their skin color or their sexual orientation or whatever, because they're a woman. Um, really bad people treat everybody bad unless it is somebody who's going to give them something that they want, like a millionaire or something like that. And even so, even then, you hear about people, like, bad things happening to people with wealth. So, folks, stop thinking that um, your culture or your creed or your uh, whatever is causing um, your like bad experiences with jerky people. It's just that somebody's a jerk, and then we be assertive to the jerks. Uh, and I mean, yeah, because people, they take a look at me and they judge me and they hate me, um, and they may, and it's like it's something about them. But I think also when we are observing bad behavior around us, whether it's in our family or in the workplace or just, at the grocery store or something like that, like we need to speak up. We need to stand up for human decency. And I think that may have, like, that's a problem. Like, that's not, like, um, people are cowardly and they've always been cowardly. Because why else would people stand by while their female family member is abused by her husband, or when there's like a lynching or whatever, like in the United States, like when that's happened. I mean, like the Asian community is being um, like it's under a lot of assault by another member, uh, a group of people of color, and so there's a lot of disparity that exists, and it's and I think like you know people want to use the isms as the rationale, and I'm not saying that there isn't isms, but I don't think that's like if somebody's going to be practice an ism, uh, that's number one. That's that person's individual thing. It's not uh, a universal um, practice by a person with that shade, you know, uh, and uh, and also if somebody's like screaming and yelling or sleeping on a sidewalk and you know like it isn't an ism like in a bad neighborhood, okay, like when somebody's like running away. Like for me, I was in a really bad part of town. I didn't realize I was there. Like I didn't realize I was there was just going to be like every couple feet there's going to be a homeless person, and I was just trying to catch the bus from a new part of town, and folks are trying to talk to me, and I'm like, I'm a solo person in a bad part of town, notoriously bad part of town, like where I've heard people get killed. And it's February 2023. Nobody cares about anybody, and it's kind of there are a couple people on the street, but it's not a crowded, tourist or overrun street because it's like a post-apocalyptic nightmare on Colfax, and people are probably telling themselves, "Oh, she doesn't want to talk to me." Like like people don't realize um, that yeah, you know what? I don't want to talk to a stranger. I mean, and maybe I think that's part of this victimization is these strangers are expecting other strangers to want them in their bed, like that, want them in, want to give them their whole bank account. Like there's this, I wonder if it's like this malignant narcissism that's taking over a legitimate treat other people decently. Um, and the thing is also, uh, there are jerky people who are abusive that hate the color blue, like they hate the color, hate flannel shirts. Let's say they hate my flannel shirt. This is a goofy flannel shirt. It's like some, I don't know, cowboys or something on it, and so they hate cowboys, like cowboy prints on flannel, right? And so they're going to they just that's their thing. And can I stop somebody from hating cowboy prints on flannel? Like people who hate, people who hate stripes. Can I stop that? I feel like rather than trying to, like, number one, nobody gets to be abused. Nobody, and though jerky people, predators are very good about being manipulative and um, like ensuring they're like they know how to play the game. So when people are um, going like on about how victimized they are, they're probably victimized by one person or whatever. But to generalize that somebody with a skin tone is the victimizer, like that everybody with that tone is a victimizer, that's messed up. That's the victim becoming a victimizer. Because how can you make that grand generalization? And and when they kind of like, you can see this smug um like pleasure that they get talking about it. Like I haven't seen like, and I've also seen crocodile tears, where a Jewish speaker is being confronted by a Jewish person bringing up the Holocaust, and the Jewish speaker is like, "I've had family that died in the Holocaust. Don't bring up the Holocaust to me about this topic." And like, I feel like it's predators that are really pushing this um, kill whitey agenda, because that's what it is. That's the that and kill whoever doesn't um, support this Marxist Bolshevik um, agenda. Because in the French Revolution, they're saying like, what is it, liberty, equality, and fraternity or something like that. But it was only equality for them. It was only equality for the murderers. There's no equality for the royalty or the royalists. The royalty and the royalists, or anybody who defied the revolutionaries, was should be dead. So where's the brotherhood? Where's the liberty? Where's the equality? Equality? Like, it was total marketing. It was total. It was just a spin used then, and it caused terror. I mean, from what I understand, is like the French are terrified of that happening again. And it is. It's happened. I had an uncle who lived in France, and he ended up. It was in 2020, I believe. The He ended up in the hospital, and nobody in the hospital reached out to his daughter, and I'm sure she was in the medical records. I mean, she's his only child, and his wife had passed away prior, but the hospital didn't call her until days after he died. Okay. Um, and so what protocol were they using? Were they using remdesivir? Were they putting people with no phlegm in their lungs? Were they putting those people with lungs that had no phlegm? They put them on the ventilator. So the ventilator then, the force of that oxygen shears off the alveoli of their lungs. So sorry. Um, so the French Revolution, the Bolshevik Revolution, the worldwide Bolshevik Marxist revolution has occurred. It's going on, and there's probably other countries that have, uh, opted out of it. I don't know, maybe Japan. Tell me what you know, but I think there's been a worldwide Bolshevik takeover, and it's with the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization. These are not world. Let's look at the sound of the word world. World. You're whirling. Okay, these are whirling health organizations. These are whirling economic forums. These are spinning, these are fake. Um, these are and look at those people. They're all weird. They all look weird. These are not, you know, these are not working class people. These are not the people that keep the world running. These are not the people that run the grocery stores, that check out your groceries, that pump your gas for you, that serve your coffee, that service the cars, that drive your buses, are they? No, they look nothing like those people. And those people totally look down on the bus drivers and the coffee baristas and the grocery clerks and mechanics and whatnot. You know, they despise them, but they need them. They need them to harvest things from. Um, but folks, stop. Just stop giving those people credit. These weird, bizarre creatures that are claiming, like, they're not even in control. Like, why are we even listening to these people? Like we need to, like, have our own, like, let's have a real human civilization. Let's just not, like the UN people, the military, you know, forces, like, stop it. Stop obeying these fake rulers, these self-appointed rulers. The WHO and WEF they're not elected by us. The UN is not elected by us. Those are selected by Satanists. So stop it. And I know you want your easy money, but you're destroying the world. You're serving it up to Satan. And I know there's probably a lot of you that either don't care or you want to do it, but there's some of you that don't want to give the world to Satan. So, and I'm sure you want your greed, or you want your leverage, and you want your money, and your status and stuff like that. But your integrity really matters, more. Like, your integrity is more valuable. So, yeah, I have a feeling we've been through something like this before, and it wasn't good when it happened at the French Revolution. And I'm sure there's other circumstances the same technique was applied. Like, I heard that France had, and this is something I heard like 30 years ago, but that France, or maybe not 30 years ago, maybe 20 or 15, that they taught about the Illuminati because they were trying to prevent this kind of takeover. Like, what was it that made France such, you know, so easy to take over in this way? I mean, the thing is, though, Russia was same thing. From what I understand, is a very similar thing. I haven't read about um, the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, but and I have, like, done some reading about China, but it seems like it was. I mean, China is a different like kind of psychology, so I think it was a little different. And even though I listened to an audiobook, I can't remember a whole lot of details. The thing is, these history books, they're so into the minutia. It's really sometimes it's hard for me to like summarize. So, anyways, thanks so much for listening, and tell me in the comments below what do we do? What's your suggestion? God bless.